Welcome to Washington East to West Sports. This is episode 101. I am Matt Beatty, joined alongside, as usual, by Sean Beatty and Kevin Ardall. If you want to get involved in the show, go ahead and tweet us. I'm at Beatty_Matt. Sean is Sean_Beatty. Kev is at C2Believe. That's SEA2Believe on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think of the topics we talk about. Let's get into some women's WNBA basketball. That's right, the Seattle Storm began the preseason yesterday. They lost to the Phoenix Mercury 77-71, so they are getting ready to get their season underway, and they officially begin on May 20th when they take on the Las Vegas Aces in Climate Pledge Arena for the Commissioner's Cup. So get out there and support the Seattle Storm if you can, or watch them on ABC because they are going to be on ABC for that game. Looks like they've got quite a few on Ion as well as ESPN2. So check out the Seattle Storm and support them throughout the season. Also want to give a mention to the OL Reign. They have been playing some games and are getting their season underway. They most recently won 2-0 against the Houston Dash on May 6th at home. And they also had a 0-0 draw against Angel City F3 on May 3rd. So if you can get out to Lumen Field to support the OL Reign, please do so. They would love your support. Let's also get into some Seattle Sounders, and they have had.
You forgot the Seattle Seawolves. Come on, man.
I was gonna get to the Seawolves. I didn't even think they have a game yet, but I'll get to the Seawolves. Don't
What
worry.
they play? Yeah, they've had 10 games. I watched their game the other day. They absolutely dominated. Sorry, but yeah, they're doing really well. We can just
Okay,
move on from there. But yes, we'll talk about them more later. But yeah, I actually watched their game. Put more
gotcha.
rugby games on TV.
Ooh, okay, okay. And Seattle Sounders most recently played at home against Sporting Kansas City on Sunday and lost 2-1. They had a 0-0 draw with Real Salt Lake on the 29th, and then they won 5-4 against the San Diego Loyal SC Soccer Club for the U.S. Open. So they are once again trying to claim another U.S. Open title. Sean, have you watched any Seattle Sounders football?
I was actually able to watch Sounders. Well, part of the problem is with watching all of these sports is they sometimes bleed together, and so you have to watch multiple at a time, like currently is happening at this moment. But yeah, it was not fun to watch them lose to Kansas City, who's probably one of the worst teams in the MLS, if not the worst team in the MLS. Every good team's allowed a clunker here and there, but probably should be the equivalent of the Oakland A's of the MLS. Probably should do that.
Wow.
But you know,
Wow. That's
oh, the Kansas City's bad. Yeah, there's no sugarcoating that one.
okay. All right. Well, you know,
Yeah.
Sounders had a bad game and they can bounce back. They've got some games coming up that people can support them at. They are playing a US Open Cup match this Wednesday. We're recording on Tuesday, so tomorrow against the LA Galaxy at 7:30, and then they take on the Houston Dynamo on Saturday at 5:30. So get out there and support the Seattle Sounders as well. But gentlemen, let's talk about a game that Sean already mentioned is currently going on, and that is the Seattle Kraken. They currently have, well, at this very moment, before the end of this game, a 2-1 series lead against Dallas after defeating the Colorado Avalanche in 7 games, winning game 7 on the road 2-1. I'm going to go to the man wearing the Kraken hat. Kevin, were you able to watch any Seattle Kraken hockey as of late, recently?
I can officially say I have. Yes.
Woo!
I made his butt come over to my house and watch Game 7.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, we
okay.
watched Game 7 together. It was pretty exciting to watch. And I also watched the first two of the Dallas series. I would say, okay, I can't say I watched like 3/4 of the game of each game.
That's
I didn't
fine.
get to
That's
watch
fine.
all of it because of other stuff, but
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch the game on Sunday, which was apparently the game to watch. but but no, it's been super impressive what they've been able to do. To kind of, I mean, Sean will go into it a little bit better than I can, but essentially, Grubauer was a Fort Knox for once in his career, sound like, and they had some lucky stuff happen for Game 7, and then They've kind of picked it up for this series, except for I guess what's going on right now from what I just saw on the score. But can't say we can't count them out. They've kind of come back and already surprised people. So I've liked what I've seen so far. It was super fun to watch. And I'll definitely try to watch some more as the series goes on. Because the next game's what, Friday?
Thursday.
After this game?
Thursday. Thursday and Saturday.
I don't even know what day it is of the week it is.
They're trying to go every other day, but there were plans at Climate Pledge Arena this past week, so they had a 2-day break between 2 and 3. So
I won't be able to watch.
But so
Thursday.
as of now, they're scheduled every other day now. Yeah, they're back on track now.
I won't be able to watch Thursday, but if they play on Saturday, then I can watch Saturdays. So.
Well, I mean,
They will.
I mean, unless a miracle happens these last 15 or last 20, it's going to be a Saturday game.
Okay. So, like I said, it was all around fun to watch. The goal that Manny Beniers did, I think it was 2 games ago, was pretty crazy. Little slap, like I didn't even know he had it, and then I just watched him do it, and I was just like, holy crap. But yeah, all in all, it was fun to watch, and we can't really get into more technical details because I don't know much shit about hockey, so I'll let you boys have that.
Then keep coming over and watch it, Kevin.
I know, so I plan to. Saturday, I'll probably be there.
Sean, what have you thought about the Seattle Kraken so far?
I'll keep it to the playoffs. It's been it's been the Grubauer show. It's been like nothing shy of a miracle. That Grubauer has been poo-poo farts for the year and a half because he's been nicked up the second season. But then he's like, I'm good now all of a sudden. Better than he's ever been in his career during the playoffs. So that's really been the start of the show. If Grubauer is not superstar Grubauer, they're out in the first 5 games of the first series. But he is not, and they've been fortunate, but that's them bounces, and you take care of it when it bounces off an opponent's hand and shoulder, and you take a goal. When the Colorado Avalanche score, 3 goals, and the Kraken score 1, and the Kraken win 2-1, you'll take it. But they've been hanging in there with Dallas. I'm a little bit more nervous about Dallas because the thing is that Dallas is deeper than Colorado was. Colorado's hurt. I don't know if you saw Matthew Landeskog is officially already ruled out for next year as well. He is very, very hurt. So yeah, we're hoping for him to play hockey again at this point in his career. He's only 30 for those that don't know. So that is really sucky, guy. Prime of his career. Now we're worried about him playing hockey again. But that came out today. So, but no, they good than bad. I would love it. I gave him a stat as of officially now as recording. I believe they have 11 goals scored in a series of 4 games. 6 of them or 7 of them have come within a 6-minute span. Yeah, they've scored a bunch of goals within like 2 separate, really quick spans. And if they don't, they just lose. And so I'm a little nervous that that's probably not going to continue against the goalie for the American team on international stages. Jake Onger is probably the best goalie by far left in this tournament. And if Grubauer is going to have to try to keep up as much as he can, I'm just not sure that the Kraken have enough here. But if it does end in this round, that's totally fine. It has been fun to watch. They got McCann back this series, but lost Sprong. So basically subbing in 1 in and 1 out. But they're not fully healthy. But it is never a dull game, no matter if they're winning or losing. That is something to be said for the Kraken. So they're a fun team to watch. As someone who watches all 4 series going on right now, this is definitely the most fun series. This is the series I watch as someone who definitely the Kraken are my team too, but as again someone whose prime allegiance is not the Kraken, it is definitely a series I found myself most glued to because the other series have been kind of duds, and this one has been by far the most fun. So
yeah, I think the Kraken have been awesome this postseason. I mean, proved everybody wrong in the Colorado series. That was great, winning Game 7 on the road. Very impressive. You guys have mentioned Grubauer. You know, if you make it to the playoffs and do this, like, I mean, I'm not particularly happy with you not playing good in the regular season, but you're playing well when it counts. So very happy about that. The depth scoring is just, I mean, you look at their points leaders for there's no one over 10 points, which is, you know, speaks to the depth that they have. I mean, there's a lot of guys with 3 goals. Jordan Eberle has 4 leading the way. A lot of guys with 3, 2, 4 assists. So they're getting scoring up and down their 4 lines. They're 4 lines deep, and you know, not many teams can really say that. Now, when you are going up against, you know, Nathan McKinnon and stuff, you want your top 2 lines out there, but the bottom 2 lines have been holding their own, and they've been scoring, they've been checking. I mean, you know, Brandon Tanev, a guy you don't normally think of as scoring. I mean, he's doing other things to get himself involved in the game. He's being very physical, and he's on the forecheck a lot. So, you know, kudos to Brandon Tanev. I mean, Morgan Geekie, he came back from having a kid, and then, you know, he's scoring big goals in big games. And I mean, Yanni Gourde has always been a big time guy, and people are saying Yanni for captain. Can't say I disagree with that. I mean, there's no captain on this team this year, so I assume they're probably going to pick one next year. So Yanni Gourde seems like a very good candidate to do that. But there are also a lot of guys in this team that could easily get that C as well next year if they decide to divvy it out. You know, I could see it for a few guys like Jamie Oleksiak, Ben Stunn, you know, even a Matty Beniers, who's a young guy who's kind of sort of leading by example. He's a Calder Trophy finalist. So to see this team play as well as it has, and it's great to just see them have the belief that they can do this, and they're showing people they can do this. I mean, no one gave them a shot in the Colorado series. I think I might be one of the only people who said it would go 7. I thought Colorado would take it in 7, but hey, I love being wrong in this scenario, so that's awesome. So
That's
I said
hockey playoffs. That's just random. It's hockey playoffs.
sure, but I said Kraken
It
in
is
7.
statistically it is the most random, so it's fine.
Sure.
It's fine to say.
I said Kraken in 7. Sean said Stars in 6. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but you know, I do like him on the road in Game 5, like I did in the Colorado series. So we'll see what happens. But overall, just super happy with how they've played. You know, if they end up losing this series, that's fine. I mean, you know, nobody really expected them to get this far, myself included. So at this point, it's bonus hockey, and if they continue to make a run, that's awesome. And if not, great year for the Kraken, great year to build off of. You've got some guys that are playing well in Coachella Valley. They're still in the playoffs down there. I mean, talk about Ty Cartier coming up after Jared McCann's injury, taking his spot on the line with Eberle and Beniers. Like, he's been great. He scored in his first game in Colorado in Game 5. Like, you can't ask for much more than that. So they're just getting scoring from everywhere. Everybody's contributing, and the team is just is playing together, which is good. So, you know, right now it's not looking great, 5-1. So likely going to be a 2-2 series and
It's
best
four,
of 3.
right? I think it's 4. Don't settle down. I think
It's
four.
5-1.
It is now? Oh gosh,
Yeah.
did I miss one when I was looking? Oh man.
Yeah. So, you know, it doesn't look like it's going to go their way, but you've got best of 3. You've been here before, so just see what happens in these next few games. So really excited to not only see how the rest of the playoffs go, but just next year in general, because this team is on the rise. You know, Andre Burakovsky will come back at some point, hopefully, and so they're just going to improve in the draft. So bright days ahead for the Kraken. So it's really great to
We'll
see.
see. Let's temper expectations for next year. Enjoy the run while it's here. That's what I'll say. Enjoy the run.
All right. Well, anything else you boys want to talk about with the Kraken?
No, we'll save the off-season stuff in future for the postseason draft, or the draft happened, like, or the auction happened. That was it.
Would you like to share your thoughts?
No, it sucks that the Blackhawks got it. Boo. Kraken aren't in there because they're still playing. So good for the Kraken.
Your Sharks were 4,
and they got 4. Yeah, kind of want a top 3, but I'll take Will Smith. That's fine.
Lottery.
We like our American 18-year-olds. It's fine.
All right. Well, let's move on to what we were talking about mainly in our most recent podcast. and that is the Seahawks in the NFL draft. So I'm going to just read off the draft picks that the Seahawks had, and then we'll kind of go through how the picks went. So at pick 5 overall, they picked Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, a cornerback. The 20th pick in the first round, they took Jackson Smith and Jigba, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Then in the second round with the 6th pick, they took Derek Hall, outside linebacker, Auburn. And then the 21st pick in the second round, they took Zach Charbonnet, I believe it is, running back, UCLA. In the 4th round, they traded, I believe it was a 3rd round pick to, you guys might know this, help me out here, somebody, and went back and got 2 4th round picks. So they took Anthony Bradford with the 6th pick in the 4th round. LSU offensive guard. And then in the 4th round, they also took Cameron Young, a defensive tackle, Mississippi State.
They
Then
traded with Denver. I believe they got a 3rd and a 4th.
Yeah, we got Denver's next 3rd.
Gotcha.
That was probably the steal of the draft, by the way. I don't know what you're doing, Denver.
And then 5th round, 17th pick, they took Michigan defensive end Mike Morris. 20th pick in the 5th round, they took Michigan center Olusegun Oluwatam. I messed that name up. I'm sorry.
That was a guy I liked. I'll say that. I don't want to try to pronounce it.
Oluwatimi. I need some pronunciation guides here, people. We need this on hand. All right. And then in the 6th round, they took Jarek Reed, the 2nd safety out of New Mexico. And then with their final pick, the 7th round, 20th pick, they took Georgia running back Kenny McIntosh. So, Sean, I'm going to throw it to you first. What did you think of the Seahawks draft?
All right. I'll let Kevin get into specifics later, but I'll tell everybody how you look at this draft. Obviously, looking at the draft now, players-wise, if someone tells you, hey, players, you get an A based on players, you can't really do that because there's so many variables that go if this player is going to be good or not. What I look at the draft is the process good? And I say this is where the sweet spot is. Cannot be an A because the process had some faults, but it also cannot be like a C because despite it having some faults, it doesn't have a ton of faults. There's not a lot you could be upset about this draft with. I'll get into specifics of like they got a corner at 5. People are arguing, do you need a corner? Do you not? Probably don't, but it is a premium position, and they drafted a premium position in the 1st round. They then followed it up, wide receiver, Jackson Smith and Jigba, who I did reference in my thing that I did like. I thought maybe they could take him. I even had him circled here. I don't know if you could see it. I actually had him circled. And exclamation point star. So they did it. They literally were like, hey, let's peek at Sean's draft board and let's draft Jackson Smith. And I was like, hey, there you go. Again, position of need, or not a real big position need, but is a premium position. So again, negates the A, kind of negates the C though, right in the middle, perfect sweet spot. Derek Hall, outside linebacker, edge, it's an edge rusher. Fine, you got position. We can go to Charbonnet and not really needing a backup running back in the 2nd round, but that's kind of their knock. But other than that, they got a guard who I'm not super upset about. They got a tackle. They did get a center, a guy I had referenced that that I liked from Michigan. I'm not gonna, Matthew, you did a better job of I'm ever gonna do of trying to pronounce his name. And they did actually get a nice little running back there in the 7th round. Kevin will talk about him. That's kind of Kevin's baby right there. So I'll let Kevin go into him. But I think overall they didn't deviate from big draft boards, and that is how you usually do good. Because consensus big boards is usually the best way for continued value. Pete Carroll was terrible for 6 years and has been good 2 years at basically doing what the big board tells you to do. And it was last year and this year. So it's not a coincidence that these are kind of, everybody looks at their best 2 draft picks because he's basically just like, listen to the nerds. So it was not overall bad draft pick. Or bad draft. If they use players, like if they use Jackson Smith, then I would like this draft pick a lot more. That means less running back, less running plays, less things like that, which also then unfortunately takes away from the Charbonnet UCLA pick. So that kind of makes that pick worse. But if they're using Bradford as their guard, they got out of LSU that that makes it a little better, and they're using Smith and everything like that, and maybe Hall's playing a little bit. I will say to those people online who are like, "Will they address their needs later?" And I will bring up a conversation we had on this podcast years ago, talking about the 2021 draft. And everyone's saying and I was saying, well, the draft really comes down to de-Eskridge. Doesn't really matter at the other two guys. Often the most value gathered is the top 3 rounds. That's where most of your guys are. And I will say I got some pushback about Trey Brown and Stone Forsythe, and I will say, where are they exactly? So usually those first 3 rounds are the ones that matter. And the most, I mean, that's not to say that the other picks don't matter, but they're really just a shot in the dark. Anything after the day 3, you're kind of a shot in the dark. And you're hoping, and you bank on upside like Tyreek Woolen. You hope with some skills that it's like, hey, we can work with this. But that's kind of it. So I always look at the first 2 days as like, these guys are gonna come in, probably should be impact players, and are they going to be impact players? And I think that the 3 of the 4, maybe even Charbonnet, like they're gonna be impact players. And they're gonna play, and they got the best corner, and they got the best wide receiver in the draft. Kind of a weak wide receiver draft class, but still got the best wide receiver. So I give this a solid B. Solid B. Not fine. Hit it down the fairway. You need a lot of pieces. Just hit the ball down the fairway. They filled some needs.
Did you just use a golf reference? What's happening
Hit
here?
it down the fairway.
What's
I did
happening?
still, though. I heard it on one of them. And I was like, that's a pretty good way to phrase it. Just hit it down the fairway. They didn't do anything sexy.
I'm the golfer in the family. You stop this.
They didn't hit it 300 yards. They hit it like 220.
They
They were a little shorter
took
than I
out
would
the
like.
hybrid and laid it up, like played it safe.
If they had drafted, Wilson out of TCU, maybe in the first round, maybe it's closer to 300 down the fairway, but they didn't draft like a running back in the first. Sorry, Detroit Lions, or an off-ball linebacker. They didn't do those. So again, can't be that upset. Peter's like, hey, we're not taking more Rashad Pennies, or we're not taking Jordan Brookses anymore. We're taking positions of high value. So I'm okay with it. First corner he's ever taken in the first round their entire time, Pete and John. So there you go.
All right,
They're
Kevin,
learning. You can teach the old dog some tricks.
Kevin, I'm going to go, and then I'll let you go. So the Witherspoon pick, I mean, it went Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, and then it was like, it was. I think, they were on the fence of depending on where what was Indianapolis win, and so they took Anthony Richardson. I thought they would go. I predicted I thought they would go Jalen Carter. I wanted Tyree Wilson. They didn't go either route. But when I looked at the tape of Devin Witherspoon, I do like the pick. And
Didn't
so
you say Zay Flowers at 5 and are drafting me? Kevin,
no, I have my document right here if you want me to share it with you.
Okay, I
I
thought
have
you were
Will
you were
Anderson,
very...
linebacker, Alabama, but with the 20th pick, I had Zay Flowers,
Okay,
wide receiver,
okay.
Boston College, and I didn't really think that Jackson Smith and Jigba would get all the way to 20. That was kind of my main reasoning behind going with Zay Flowers, because I thought he would still be there. So getting Jackson Smith and Jigba at 20, I thought was a great pick. Because I was, I wanted a wide receiver there anyway, so I'm very happy with that pick. Derek Hall, outside linebacker. I haven't really been able to watch too much of his tape, but Sean said he's a edge rusher, and that's definitely a position of need. So sounds like that'll hopefully.
I'm not super pleased with it, but it's a position of need. You roll the dice.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, we'll see how that pans out. There's certainly needing some sort of anything on the linebacker side of things, so that's certainly something to address. The UCLA running back pick, I did watch some film on him. I do think that there is potential there. We'll see how it pans out. Running back was a position to me because they only had DJ Dallas and Kenneth Walker on the roster. So getting a guy I thought they would get in the 7th round, like I said with my Travis Dye pick, but
sorry,
Pete likes running backs, so
Juan Then, a guy we referenced in the podcast, is making his major league debut right now. So there you go, Mariners pitcher.
No, he was debuted on Saturday when I was there. So.
Yeah, he was on Saturday.
What? They just showed it on the thing and made me look like an idiot. They just said making his major league debut. I'm about Wii Sports. I'm calling you out, Wii Sports.
I read it, and it said that he made it on Saturday.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm saying it because I was there and he pitched.
Oh,
so
God damn it.
I know that ancient sorcery of reading is super difficult.
I'm trying to read and listen to Matthew at the same time and watch a hockey game. It's hard.
Anthony Bradford in the 4th. We've done this only twice, so I had him in the 6th. So they clearly liked what they saw, and obviously, when I went off of ESPN's best available, so that's obviously not going to take into account positions indeed and all that sort of stuff. So they got him in the 4th. I think last year Sean and I both wanted Tariq in the 5th, and I think they took him in the 3rd or something like that. So
Tyreek Woolen, no,
or was he was a 5th, right?
Woolen was the 5th, yeah.
Okay, so I think we had them in the 3rd, and then he was taken in the 5th. So
Abe Lucas was their 3rd.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So Anthony Bradford sounds like, I don't think he might not be a immediate starter, but it sounds like there is potential there from what I've been hearing from experts. So that's interesting. And also the one that I also had them taking was Mike Morris, defensive end of Michigan. I also had that though in the 5th. So that was, I think they did take him in the 5th. So they had him slot at the same spot I did. So I think that'll help with the defensive line. And then Kenny McIntosh, a running back that I didn't really think of. But when you watch his tape, especially with the national champion Georgia Bulldogs, he does stand out at the running back position. So I think that could be quite a steal. The one thing that we did talk about was we wanted a quarterback. And while I am surprised they didn't take a quarterback, this tells me that this is, they're all in on Geno. I mean, they gave him the money, they gave him the contract. I'm surprised they didn't, maybe try and take Dorian Thompson-Robinson or something later.
It just tells me they're not forcing it, which is good. Don't force it, waste the pick.
I mean, I don't know when he was taken, but I thought they might take a guy in the later rounds. At 2nd round, I thought for sure they were going to. I mean, I think Hendon Hooker was around until the middle of the 2nd or something like that. So that was the guy that I had targeted in my draft. But they're clearly focused on Geno, focused on Drew Lock, and I guess if it goes south with the quarterback position, they'll likely be back in the top 10 picks and have a shot at another quarterback. So while I was a little surprised, we'll go all in on Geno, and he showed what he can do last year. So we'll see how it works out. Kevin, what'd you think?
Well, what's your grade?
Oh, my grade?
Grades are stupid, but let's do it for fun's sake.
I don't think it was a perfect draft. No A's. I thought they addressed, I don't want to go the same as you guys, but I'll go. Sean, you said B.
Yeah, you could go B. It's fine.
I mean, I feel like that is about right because
Yeah.
it's not. They didn't go crazy and
It could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse, and that's fine.
Yeah. And the draft is like Schrodinger's picks. Like we don't know if they're good or bad until that we get them on the field. So it's
and that's why I say process. Process is the only thing we know. We have a good process, and they had a good process.
Kevin, what'd you think?
Sorry, I'm watching Dan, and Texas had like one of the craziest lucky grounded.
I just saw that. Yeah.
My God, that thing went
old Kevin. Speaking of a player that you haven't heard of in a while, Brad Miller is up here batting.
I know, right? Old Mariner right now. For the
also, Kraken
off.
scored 5-2, so there's hope. There's hope. Go ahead, Kevin.
There's hope. Okay, so going into this draft, and Sean kind of already elaborated on it, so I'll go into a little bit deeper. We know that since 2013 up until 2021. Pete Carroll and John Schneider had no idea what they were doing at all. They just couldn't. They barely evaluated talent. They got lucky on 1 or 2 picks in 3 of the drafts, and then the rest of them were just kind of dog poop, which is not good. Which goes to the theory. And sorry, Mariners win 5-0. So,
oh man, you are ahead of me. Okay, yeah, okay.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Woo! It goes to the theory that Sean and I saw. I think it was Evan from the Seahawks thing was saying that now that Jody Allen has been in the draft room with her guys, that they've been going off the big board, which is what they should be doing. And they have been doing that, but then you also have the process of filling your needs first, then going to the best player on the board after that, so to speak. And that's where they kind of faulted. Because, I mean, sure, what they got in the first 2 picks in the first round, where it was the top player on the board at that position. Were they positions of desperate need? No. Your front seven is a hot pile of trash. You have an old ass Bobby Wagner and question marks all around the board. And you have no depth either, other than linebackers, which it's like 10 guys of like they have Alton Robinson as a linebacker, which is a joke. They have freaking Nick Bellore as a linebacker, which is a joke. So you literally have like no depth in your front seven. So if Bobby, heaven forbid, Bobby gets hurt, you're even more screwed than your front seven's even more worse. So that's where you should have focused. Plus, your interior O line, which they did address the interior O line later on in the draft, but as we've mentioned this podcast before, beyond the third round, it's just kind of guys that might, work out, guys that might not work out. Like usually top 3 rounds are guys that are usually you have a higher chance of them being at least solid NFL starters, if not a good to elite players, to help build your roster. And we technically didn't do that. Well, we did in the second with what's the linebacker that we got?
Derek Hall.
Derek Hall, yeah. So
that was nice. He's a defensive end.
He's more of an edge rusher than a linebacker.
Yeah.
So we did need edge rush, so that helps. But when you have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds and only one of them goes to your needs, that's a big no. Like when you're a team and you're not like, yes, you did make the playoffs, but also you have to be smart enough. And Seahawks fans really are just not smart in this area where they just think that the Seahawks are really good when we're not. We're just really lucky, and that we're in the NFC, and the NFC is just a joke at the moment. And it truly is, because like all you have is the Eagles, you have the Niners, and you kind of the Cowboys. Maybe the Rams, depending on health situation, but of some of the players, but that's about it. That's all you have for threats in the NFC. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of a hot joke. So, and we'll get more into that later on, but in other podcasts. But you needed to use your higher picks to fill the holes of needs to make yourself a better team that way. So that's why I kind of downgraded them on this draft a little bit. Now they did do well by, as we already mentioned, getting best players on the big board with what they did. You don't take running back in the second round. We already murdered them last year for doing it, and then he did it again because no one was probably paying attention, and Pete just put it in without people, because Pete has a boner for running backs because he's an idiot. And the funny part is that the running back in the 7th round, the tape is so much better than Charbonnet's, which I'll get into that here in a little bit. Overall, I liked what they did. I mean, the center had really good tape, even though he's kind of small for his size, but that doesn't matter if he can play. Because I mean, Max Under was even undersized, and Max Under was a top center. The guard, his pass protection was good, and his running tape was solid. So now whether that transitions to the NFL, we'll see. But I mean, the fact that you're going more pass protection is a good thing. So all in all, I give him props for that. And then you got, Mike Morgan, or more, is it Morris? Mike Morris? Sorry.
Mike Morris.
The safety that they got.
That's what Zach does the best.
The safety that they got, I wasn't really impressed with this tape.
Don't scroll down. None of this is true. None of it's relevant. But what is that? Like, that's the easiest that shows nothing. Stupid. You're wasting everybody's time. This is like
Isaiah Talley's whole freaking. Oh my god!
This is the shiftiness of a battle tank. Like, that was nothing. That was not shifty. I'm sorry.
This is what happens when 12th man don't know.
Go back up to number 1 and just keep replay number 1 over and over. It's the only one that matters. He caught a wide open pass. Congratulations. I'm just saying, like, the one that matters, the one that shows you what he's going to be.
This tells you that 90% of Seahawks fans don't know what they're looking at when they look at tape. It's so sad.
He's a big boy. He's going to be hard to tackle. There you go.
Congrats. Welcome to the majority running backs that you can get in later rounds. And it also depends on O-line too. O-line is the biggest part of the running game. So, anywho, back to what I was saying, the very little tape on the safety that we got in the sixth, I think it was, did not really impress me all that much. So I wasn't really a fan of that. And then the steal of the draft was McIntosh in the seventh. That dude, how the hell that boy fell to the seventh? I don't give a crap if he has a 4.62 running speed. I give zero craps about pro day combine crap, because some people just suck at doing, like, getting in the position and doing it, you know. Like, it doesn't mean what he can't do in open field down, you know. And 4.62 is not that bad. Everything that he has on tape is just so much better than Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. Like, his running style, the fact that he's a phenomenal pass catcher, and he catches in traffic too. The dude knows how to block and knows how to pick up blocks when he's in the backfield. He has
Hey, it's that jet sweep the Seahawks like.
There you go.
Where to?
That's why they did it.
Mm-hmm. His route running is very good. His hands are very good. He has, in one of his highlight videos, he has there's two different one-handed catches that he does while he's side turned, which is absolutely nutty. You don't really see that much of a running back other than Kamara.
Ooh, look at that shiftiness. That's actual shiftiness.
Yeah.
You can remove that other guy from your Twitter feed.
Good balance of movement after contact. Just well, I mean, he got tripped up there, but yeah, I mean, he's not Jesus, but I mean, for what you got for a 7th round back, that this guy should have been like a 4th.
He's shifty. Zach is a bruiser. That's fine.
And he's a big boy for a back too. He's like, what, 6'1"? He's 6'1", 6'2", 220, I believe is what his measurements were. But all in all, he's just an all-around every down back, essentially. Honestly, I think he should get the most reps in preseason. I mean, yeah, see what you got with the other boys, but
yeah, Zach is like 220. Kenny's 200 pounds.
Oh, is he 200? Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell. Like, yeah, just Kenny's the shifty guy. Zach's like the big guy. He's big.
Also, they made it confusing. We got a Kenny and a Kenneth. Like, what's up with that? Kenny, Kenneth? Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we trying to confuse ourselves here?
So all in all, as you can see here with a lot, I mean, there's more tape than just highlights. Like, you got to watch his non-highlight tape. Like, the guy has a good awareness of where to pick up the blocks in the backfield. His lane vision too in regular plays, because not all, I mean, this is all sexy and stuff like that, but what he does and why me and Sean really got after K9 last season is what you do on the 3-yard runs. Like, he goes forward. Like, he has good, and he has way better, like, vision of where holes are than what K9 does. He's not going to try to golden tate the living crap out of it and try to shift for 18 years just to get an extra yard. He's going to go forward to get you the 3 to 4 yards if he needs to. And then he can do plays like this downfield, you know, at the same time too. And that's what I love. Like, this stuff is all sexy, but the main thing of a back is what he does in the short yard situations. Like, when there's like 8-9 in the box, is he going to get you 3-4 yards?
Yeah, simply the mark of a good running back is a play that should get you 3 yards. Can you get me 4 or maybe 5? Not the plays that where you're running down the field, no one's touching you like this. Like, can you get me the extra couple yards?
O-line is, like I said, O-line's a part of that too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, a play that should get you 3 yards, depending on your, you know, O-line, all that stuff. Can you get me 4? Can you get me 5? Can you do that extra? Like,
yeah. Especially since it seems like we're going to an O-line that's going to be more of a pass protection O-line. So you're going to need guys that can get you that extra yard, so to speak, to make it to where it's 2nd and 6 versus 2nd and 8, you know, type deal.
Please, Kenneth Walker. Please, Kenneth Walker.
2nd and 10
3 yards
type stuff. So all in all, how this dude got here I have no idea, but it was a blessing that we took
I will
him.
say Walker takes that one for a touchdown. That last one, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that's different. It's fine. It's fine.
at the
That
same
was a
time,
good. That was a good play. That was a good catch. That was
what I
solid.
felt like we could have done in this draft is not draft Charbonnet, gotten him here, and then just get an undrafted free agent running back, which there's plenty of.
We did.
To come, yeah, I think we got two actually to come.
I see officially one, but you might be right. Chris Smith out of Louisiana and Lafayette.
But to come in and to compete with, yeah, you don't
absolutely.
need to take. You could have used that second round to go get another somebody in the front seven, or go get like a center or a guard, something of more of a position of need. And that's why, all in all, I gave this draft a B-, because yes, you did take stuff off the big board at the best positions. You essentially kind of eventually filled some of your needs, but you didn't do it in the matter of going to fill the position of need first and then get the best players available. And then people will argue, be like, well, what if at second, if they didn't have somebody, that didn't like. It doesn't matter. In the first round, there's always somebody on the big board that is either an edge rusher or a linebacker or a defensive tackle. There's going to be somebody there that's on the big board that you can take. Like it's there, because we already know that Pete and John suck balls at evaluating talent. At least Pete does, and we know Pete has the final decision and everything. So unless Jody Steps is stepping in, we don't know. So we can't say that there wasn't somebody there to take in the second there. When we got Chardonnay, there was plenty of still people in the front seven or O-line to take it, there, what we could have done and then got more depth, because we still have literally pretty much no depth in the front seven. So
we don't have players in the front seven, like let alone depth.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I still like Alton Robinson. I think Alton Robinson's a really good piece for what we got in a fifth. I think he's a solid player. Now, is he going to be a good elite guy? It's still yet to be seen, because he's, he showed shades of good play when he did play, but it's just his playing time got limited in his first year because Pete was an idiot and just didn't play his young guys. And then once he started to, then he got hurt. So it's just, unfortunately, there's what Draymond Jones will do. And then, I don't know. We'll get to those, in future stuff as we get.
I mean, this is his last year.
Like that.
This is his last year. So,
I just felt like, all in all, they could have made this draft a little bit better. I gave it a B-. As far as quarterback wise, I think they probably. I can't say that we can't say they coulda, woulda, shoulda. We don't know what they would have done. I feel like if Will Anderson or Anthony Richardson was there, they would have taken it, because, especially since Will Anderson said in an interview like a day before, like, who do you want to play for? He said, I want to play for Pete Carroll, essentially. Like,
well, I mean, he's wanting to drop because do you want to play in Carolina, Houston, or Arizona right now?
Well, they just said coach wise, like what
I know,
coach,
but he's just trying to suck up, like, please, Seattle, come get me. Like, I don't want to play in Arizona right now. Like,
just because I think he felt like, because Pete's a fun coach to play for, he's always got the positive rah-rah attitude, which attracts people to come play. That's like the one of the very little things that, I mean,
we just learned Puna Ford took less money from Seattle offered and went to, quote, go play for a contender in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I don't know if it really works so that much anymore, but that's fine.
I think if Anthony Richardson had been there, they probably would have considered it.
Yep.
Sadly, the Colts took him. All in all, Geno's offense got better. The O-line is still something that kind of needs. I think the center play. Well, they need to start the young kid at center, because whoever they got in the offseason, that free agent dude from the Lions, just he can go sell popcorn.
I mean, he can play guard. They have a spot at one of the guard spots.
Yeah.
So.
I honestly, I think it's worth a shot, since our current guards kind of suck. Might as well just see what you got there and put the other guard in that we drafted in.
Yeah.
Just see what you have and go with that. But all in all, this is the year where, like, okay, you now have three really good weapons when you added JSN, to already DK and Tyler, which people are still like now. And I saw, like, I think Sean reposted it was some like NBC thing. They were like best rookie, and they put him with
it was literally NFL supported London, UK version, but it was NFL's official Twitter account. They said their
People
best
still don't
receiver
get how
combo,
good Tyler
and they
is.
they picked DK and not Tyler, and then
Yeah, I know.
Jackson. I was like, come on,
People are
man, don't
dumb.
disrespect Tyler like that.
People still do. I mean, hey, if people are going to be like, if teams are going to see that and be dumb, and guard DK, I don't mind Tyler in 1-on-1. That's fine with
Well,
me.
I also will say I don't think Tyler is as respected around the league as I think most Seahawks fans would like.
I
I
don't
don't.
even think Seahawks fans respect
Seahawks
him as much as
fans,
Seahawks
no, yeah,
fans
they don't
either.
know.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm referencing because one of the people I used to work with, his name's Jason Leskew. He was a Bay Area guy. He came up here and was a sports reporter in Longview, and when I was at the Chronicle, and we talked, and he's an Oakland fan. Obviously they're not in Oakland anymore, but he was, we were kind of having a back and forth a little bit, and I was saying like we have one of the best wide receiver groups in the league, and he said no, you don't have that, like you guys are not even top half. And I'm not sure if that is sentiment that is across the board, but obviously we are Seahawks fans, so we might have a little more bias on this, but it was shocking to me to hear someone say that we didn't even have them in the top half, those two guys,
Oh,
DK and
easy,
Tyler. And
easy.
so that's why it's kind of like, I mean, even in the Bay Area, they've got Debo and Ayuk, and I would take, obviously probably a little bit of bias, but I would take DK and Tyler over Debo and Ayuk. Now it's close. It is close. I will say that, but I think I would
Are you
give the
talking
edge
about
to.
the whole package? Because what they do, it also incorporates running and all that stuff. If you're
No, no,
talking
we're,
about
we're just
straight up being a
talking.
wide receiver, it's Seattle. Like route running and pass catching at Seattle.
We're just
But
talking the players that are wide receivers. Like I think that DK and Tyler are easily top five in the league. Now, of course, like I've said, we have bias for Seahawks fans. They may not see that way, but you guys have said many
yeah,
times, people don't respect Tyler, and it clearly shows all the time. But luckily, Tyler goes out there and does his thing, and it doesn't matter anyways. So
Tyler's a top 3 receiver in football right now. Print it. He was last year. He was like just straight up. Tyler is a wide receiver one. I'll say it for I'm gonna keep saying it for maybe a couple more years because I mean he probably doesn't have a couple more years
He's
as
about
a
to
wide
turn
receiver one,
32.
but like he
So
will start to age. But yeah,
all right, so I've got a proposal for you guys on defense. I don't know if you've seen the document, but I was watching Ted Lasso with Lauren the other night, and there was an episode where they were talking about formations, and it kind of got me thinking about how football defenses are with the 4-3-3-4, and with what the Seahawks have, I propose a 3-5-3 defense. So,
five
uh,
DBs.
well, you'll hear here. So, on the front, I've got Jaron Reed, Draymond Jones, Uchenna Nwosu. Then in the five, Devin Witherspoon, Kobe Bryant on the inside, Bobby in the middle, Michael Jackson. I was kind of a little bit iffy. I thought maybe you could go Jordan Brooks, but I kind of like the four DBs as opposed to kind of more of a nickel look. So that's why I put Michael Jackson there, Tariq Woolen. And then on the back three, Jamal Adams, Julian Love in the middle, Quandre Diggs. And I kind of feel like the Love and Diggs would kind of be the free safety and strong safety, and Jamal would kind of more roam, maybe play up close to the line whenever he needs to, or feels it gets the go ahead to do so, and kind of play more of a, not necessarily a safety role, but more of a, what I would call a rover. I don't know if there's, we haven't played
Essentially, it's
football.
what
I don't
Buda
know
Baker
exactly what they would
does.
call
It's
him,
what
but
it's what Buda Baker
that
does. I
is
guess yeah.
kind of what I see this defense shaping. And obviously, there are guys that are going to sub in. You've got some guys on the D line that can come in, shift in and out, and of course, there are going to be substitutions because you're not going to stay out there the entire time, probably. But I think that this kind of gives them a good look across the board for any wide receivers that they might match up with. Now, of course, their issue is running the stop and the run, so not the 3-5-3 doesn't really set up for that. So that could still be an issue with this defense, but I think in a league that is favoring the pass more, I
It's
I
fun.
want to make sure those matchups, if they want to go man on man, like if you've got Devin on, if you've got Devin Tariq on the outside covering those two wide receivers, then you can have a Kobe inside covering a linebacker or the slot wide receiver, and then you've got Michael Jackson there if you want to have more coverage, or if you want to bring in Jordan Brooks, play a little more of a nickel, and have a linebacker to maybe stop the run a little more. That's kind of what I see this. What I would kind of do if I had this defense. What do you guys think, Sean? What do you think?
Okay, well, fundamentally that number doesn't make sense because that's not how you do that with the numbers. Linebackers, DBs. So
Yeah,
it is
that's right. I changed it entirely.
that's not how that works. So you're go a 3-3-5. Is that what you said? Okay.
3-5-3.
Well, no, because you don't have
I'm
five linebackers.
I'm playing a football European formation in this scenario.
Well, yeah, but it's by positions, right?
No, it's basically just front line, middle, basically linebackers
But
and
but but,
DBs,
but
and then
soccer also
safeties.
goes by positions, and that's how they do it. And so, anyways, but like,
Defense, midfield,
um,
forwards. Yeah, like exactly.
yeah, and you didn't do that here. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. Either way, but that's fine. Yeah, that was kind of my issue with the draft. Was what do you do at cornerback? Because I liked Michael Jackson, I liked Kobe Bryant, or thought Kobe Bryant was
That's why I
supposed to
have
be.
them in here. Myself personally, yes.
And that's the problem with drafting Witherspoon. You have 4 spots, maybe 5 if you play nickel, which then you can't take you have to take a linebacker out for and 8 guys. You've basically crowded an already crowded. And like Kevin said, you didn't draft a need. I don't mind it. I hope they do. Anything you can do to get Jamal Adams out of coverage is probably a good thing. And get him near the line of scrimmage. He's a small linebacker, and that's hurting again further the run game because you'd rather have like a linebacker. And also my issue with it too is Jordan Brooks isn't going to be probably healthy for a while, so like this is the end of the season kind of thing. Um, yeah, it's I don't mind it, and I kind of think they will play it, but I will say their pass defense was also not good last year, so I just hope one of them is like good. So yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind you playing more DBs than big bodies, but I would put 4 linemen then if you're going to play that many DBs because you're going to need the big boys to absorb the blockers if you're going to
So
have Jamal
maybe
Adams
a
running
4-4-3.
a four. I do a like a 4-2-5 and have just a ton of DBs and have Jamal Adams be your DB/linebacker and just run around. That's kind of your hybrid thing. That's what I would do.
Kevin, what do
You
you
don't
think?
have many linebackers too, so you're playing to your strength and like limiting how many linebackers you actually are playing. So
Yeah, Bobby has the most experience, and then Jordan
well, Jordan's
is
hurt,
not. Yeah,
so
he's hurt. So that's
is he
why
gonna play? It's gonna be him and
that's why I
Devin
think you're
Bush.
gonna probably roll. That's why I wanted to roll one linebacker in this formation for the most part. Kevin, what do you
I'll
think?
roll Bush and Bobby, and then yeah, DBs across the board. Witherspoon, Woolen, Michael Jackson the slot, and then or no, yeah, no. Okay, yeah. Anyways, go on, Kevin. I'll keep thinking about it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not opposed to a 4-2-5. Just because, especially since you know that Witherspoon can tackle. That's kind of been your another thing of this defense is just lack of tackling. And they got a corner that can tackle and tackle well and kind of bring the boom back a little bit. Not saying because everybody's like the Legion of Boom's coming back. I'm like, shut the F up. I'm like, it's not. Just no.
Yeah,
LOB is the LOB was the LOB. Like, let's
probably
stop.
once in a lifetime thing. Yeah.
Like everybody, well, anytime we get like somewhat of a, we think it's going to be a good like secondary. Everybody's like, the LOB's back, and I'm like,
The
just shut
secondary
up.
was bottom half last year, guys. Like
Yeah.
we did a lot more than
Like everybody
Witherspoon and
just
Jamal Adams to make
let
this
the
like
LOB
top five.
let the LOB be the LOB.
Yeah.
Like we don't need a new nickname for a good secondary squad, or and even like then like Bobby was technically a little bit part like some eventually later on you kind of consider the whole defense to be the LOB because of Bobby bringing the hits and then other linebackers and but I mean yes it was majority the secondary but so I wouldn't be opposed to like a 4-2-5 or because like Sean already mentioned, our strength is secondary in depth at corner and safety. To where and especially in a passing league. I think you're probably just be able to adapt to what you're playing against. Like if you're going against like the Giants who are going to run it more, then you probably don't want to do a 4-2-5. You probably want to have more of a 4-3, to help stop that run. Or like a 4-5-2, or excuse me, 3-5-2, so to speak, even though with that being like Jamal up in there and then like Witherspoon, you're more tackling DBs back, in the middle, to help kind of cushion in the run. Yeah, But I mean, if you're going base defense, probably. So that's the thing. Pete doesn't understand stuff outside of his wheelhouse. And he had everything he's tried outside of his wheelhouse has kind of failed.
I
So
was
did
just
we?
watching the entire Kraken game on like a 45-second delay. I had no idea. So there's that.
Yeah, it's 6-3. They pulled the goalie.
I
Gave
just
it a
saw
shot,
on a
but
Twitter the guy was like got an update like they scored an empty netter. I'm like, what? And they were skating around for a while. I was like, what? Wait, 2:21 left. I'm at like
Did we
four
get a new
Yeah,
minutes.
defensive coordinator?
I'm
I
at
can't remember.
147 left.
Oh yeah, I'm at 153. But still,
Did we get a new DC? Did we fire the old DC?
No.
No,
Okay,
Clint
so
Hurtt.
okay. So okay. Well, it didn't matter. They're a fucking cheerleader. It's Pete Carroll's defense. He's the one who runs it.
Well, to
So
sum up, yeah, I think the, playing a funky defense is what's going to happen this year. It's what's going to happen.
it's but the thing is whether Pete can help execute stuff that he doesn't know. That's the question. Because Pete is so used to old school style defense to where a newer style of like what Belichick runs with the 5 corner sets is going to be something that's kind of foreign to him, and whether he can coach that to young kids. That's the question mark, and whether
I mean, a lot of guys play nickel now as 5 DBs.
yeah, but like it's not the same style as like what Belichick has been running for like the last like 5 years though.
Well, Belichick's strength is just take away your biggest weapon. That's just what he does,
Yeah.
and he's a mastermind at that. So,
but his majority standard defense is 5 corner, out there like just and runs with 3 and 2. He runs a 3-2-5. At least last time I checked. Like I don't pay attention.
He's notorious for changing it up. He actually ran
Yeah.
a 2D lineman set in the first Super Bowl he ever coached him. So he'll change it up to whatever it is, whatever they need.
But the majority of the times when I see them play, mostly I see a 3-2-5.
That's probably correct now, since he's adjusting to what it's becoming more the last 7 or so years. Yeah.
The fact that you add Rodgers into that whole division. I mean, with the AFC just being stacked with quarterbacks, you kind of have to.
It's a murder. It's a murderer's row, man.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
You kind of have to kind of run that. So,
but good for the Seahawks. There's nobody there. You better go to playoffs.
And that's the thing. I think you have a little bit more leeway because I mean, yes, you do play the Eagles this year and you play San Fran twice. But I mean, San Fran is Brock Purdy really going to like dump it all over the field on you? Can he? Probably.
Wait, he did.
Is his arm even going to be alive to do that? We'll see.
Because we suck. So, but yeah, you're not going to have like Mahomes, Allen, like just burning.
You don't have anybody. Kirk Cousins is like the third best quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah, and plus we played the NFC North, which all you have is Burrow. So we played Burrow, and then
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar's more of a runner, though. Yeah, Lamar's more of a runner, though. So it's like
if Deshaun Watson's healthy, you also have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, but Deshaun also, that's true. Deshaun's kind of a mixed bag.
Healthy Deshaun Watson was like top 3 quarterback in football. So if he's back to that,
but I'm saying, but it's also because he has wheels and can run it.
Yeah.
But so like I said, we have the luxury to kind of play around this year. So
how did we get off on this? Matthew's talking about formations. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he was talking about Belichick, and then you guys were on the schedule.
I'm saying it depends on what you play against this year, but we don't really have any, bad, good teams. So.
Reeling back in.
Mariners,
reel
Mariners.
Back in.
Jesus.
I'm reeling. If you want to get involved in the show, go ahead and tweet us. I'm at Matt. Sean's at Sean_Beatty. Kev is at SEA2Believe. That's C2Believe. We got about 15 minutes left, so let's move on to the Seattle Mariners. And, I'm not going to go through all their games, but they are currently sitting after tonight's 5-0 win at home against Texas. They are sitting at 18-18. They won the series against Houston most recently, swept the A's in Oakland, lost the series against Toronto, lost 2-3, and then lost 2-3 against the Philadelphia Phillies. I will start since I have gone to a Mariners game most recently. So Lauren and I went to the Saturday game. And first of all, let me just say there needs to be some sort of stadium protocol for a short person sitting behind larger people. Lauren is not tall, and there were two huge men sitting in front of her. So she didn't have a great view of the game. Um, but we did get up and walk around later. And then in that 7-run eighth inning, we were just standing basically in right field and watched, JP clear the bases, and then Kelnick and Julio and Jose Caballero. So that was awesome. So it didn't look great, and Marco, I think I see Sean tweeted all the time, but Marco was good. Like he only allowed like 3 runs in that game. Like he kept them mostly at bay. So I thought Marco did a great job out there. And then it was a good game all around because when we were walking around in the later innings, I really kind of lost hope. So then I went to the bathroom and came back out, and Kyle Raleigh hit that chop single and then clear the bases. So that was a fun game to be a part of. So that was awesome for my first Mariners game this year. But overall, I see even you guys on Twitter like it's May, like whatever, 18-18, cool. I'm not really super upset one way or the other. Everybody talks about they need more hitting and blah 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 blah
Well, they do
blah.
need more hitting, but
It's
like,
like
yeah,
whatever. Like when it comes to August, we'll see where they're at, and then it'll really count. For me, I, I just like watching a little bit of baseball here and there. I haven't been watching as much with the NBA and NHL playoffs going on, but once those are both over, I will certainly get back into the baseball side. And my fantasy team is no longer undefeated. I'm 2-2-1 now, so maybe the sky is falling. I think the sky is falling for the Mariners and me. And I think we should have just ended the season when I was 2-0-1 and leading the league. But other than that, Kevin, what have you thought of the Seattle Mariners?
Over that last series, it's kind of what you expected. Minus the Astros, that was a surprising sweep, or I mean, excuse me, not sweep, series win over the Astros. And Astros. Yeah, we'll call them Astros. Astros. But the Astros have been kind of having a little bit of struggling themselves lately, which has been because what's his name? The guy you don't pitch to.
Jordan Alvarez.
Alvarez was hurt there for a little bit. So they were going without him. And then I think they had somebody else that was hurt for a little bit too. But I mean, they got him back. We found out in game 1 why you don't pitch to Alvarez. Because then he does things like that. But all in all, losing to Toronto and to the Phillies, they're both really good teams. Should we? I mean, yeah, you do want to try to win, but like I'm okay with one of the. I think we should have probably took one of the series against them, probably maybe Philly. But I'm understanding at this point of like I said, they're good teams. They're paid to play baseball. Now you should sweep the A's. The A's are just a hot pile of garbage. It was way closer than what it should have been on 2 of those games because I watched them. And we finally learned that, well, at least Kelnick finally learned that when you're in a stadium with barely 2,000 people, you can't say shit about the ump as you're walking away and be an idiot like that because you will get ejected.
Come on, Jared, you're on my fantasy team. Knock it off, man. Stay in the game.
Yeah, he's still got that temper that he needs to check himself before he wrecks himself. Texas is kind of a weird, yeah. I don't know what to do about Texas. They're just, I mean, they should be kind of worse going further because, like I said, you have DeGrom hurt, Corey Seager's hurt. So hopefully we can win tomorrow to take the series, which you should do. All in all, this team is kind of where I expect them to be. Pitching wise, they've been very good. Hitting is just kind of the aspect. Yeah, we do need hitting. To Matt's point, I kind of disagree a little bit just because we don't want to wait all the way until August. I mean, yes, you're not going to
can't wait till August to try to figure it out.
Yeah, because if you get a bat in
I'm not
August
saying wait till
and
August to try to figure it out. I'm saying I don't really care about the standings till then. That's what I'm saying.
But you kind of like if you're under 30 games and then you go get a bat, it's kind of hard to make playoffs when you're below 30 games.
True.
Like you need to be positive at that point. So you kind of need to figure out a bat. Some solutions until if you're not going to trade. There's this guy who's just raking down in Tacoma right now named Mike Ford. who's kind of, like I said, we never expected this crap. I even teased it like last year in the beginning of the preseason because he had a hot preseason last year. I was like, put in my 4 big boys, big toys. He is murdering in Tacoma. Like he's murdering that whole league. He's leading in RBIs, and it's not even close. He has 45 RBIs, and that was like 3 days ago. He might even have more now. Like just ridiculous numbers that man is putting up.
He played for 4 teams last year. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like bring that man up. Let him be your DH. Let him be your DH for the love of God. Like, and if Ty France needs a day off, then he could go play first where Ty France is at because he can't play first. And let Ty France be your DH if you need to, or let Ty France have a day off. Because Ty France has kind of been struggling with the power. Like he only has 1 home run on the whole freaking year. Like that's not usual Ty France stuff. I mean, he is hitting 287, but we're not used.
Yeah, he was 3 for 4 when I was there, Kevin. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Like he is getting on base still. It's just we normally expect to see more power out of him. He's just got, I don't know what's struggling with his power at bats because he's been chasing stuff up, and I don't like it. That's something that he's kind of always had a knack for. He's trying to chase the high pitch to try to slap it out, and it's just not like he needs to just not swing at that grab. Julio's been struggling a little bit, or well, a lot of it, just because he's over forcing it. He's kind of doing what Kelnick did last year. Since he got back from injury, and he's just man swing. He's just trying to just murder the ball on every swing out of the park. Like, yeah, I know. I love that tweet. Where like when I was watching him in the Oakland games, he was literally trying to take the ball's head off, and I'm like, stop! Just let your swing be natural. Like you have the natural power to take that ball, even if it doesn't go out. You have the power to put that ball in play on the outfield. Like, just get on base. Like, you don't have to crush a home run every time you're there. Like, just get on. Like, you're there. You also are on this team because of your speed and your ability to steal bases. Just get on base. That's what matters. Stop trying to murder the ball every freaking time you're up to bat. I like what I've seen at Caballero, like especially during that. Like, he came alive during that A's game. Oh my God, he was just smacking the ball around. So I kind of at this point just keep running him at second until Colton Wong figures his butt. I mean, yes, Colton Wong has been a little bit more.
He's been a lot better recently, but
better.
I mean, it's hard to be worse.
He's been better, but he's still bad. That's the best way to put it. He's been better, but he's still bad. To where I'd rather just kind of put Caballero out for the majority of it and then bring in Wong.
I mean, last week he's got 800 OPS, which is like the best on the team, like Wong does. So that's not a high bar to clear though for this team. So
yeah. Yeah, AJ Pollock. I mean, yeah, he did have some clutch home runs against the A's, but that's just not your solution. Like you got to go get a bat.
Yeah, I mean, to sum up, yeah, Kevin's right. It's just it's rough. Pitching's the best top down American League.
We didn't even mention my sexy boy real quick, Mr. Bryce freaking Miller.
Oh yeah!
Holy crap! Woo! God,
they got 4. Well, I don't want to anoint anybody yet, but it looking like Bryce Miller is here to stay probably, and we got 4 dudes in the rotation now, like 4 dudes.
Sean, you need to stop talking about Bryce Miller because Kevin's getting a little excited down there. I know.
I'm not bothered.
Oh, but we got 4. I mean, Kirby throws 6 shutout innings today. 9 strikeouts.
He threw 7 today.
Oh, 7 innings. 6 hits. That's what I was reading. And then Logan had a no-hitter going to the 6th yesterday.
10 Ks.
Yeah, it's looking nasty with this rotation, and even the bullpen's been not as like completely nothing, but it's been a very good bullpen still. So yeah, they just all the bats are struggling to sum it up. All of them, like everybody is basically struggling. Jared's come back down to earth here, which I mean it's it's fine. But when he was
No,
the
it's
only one
not.
hitting,
He's on my fantasy team. No, it's not.
Matthew, he wasn't gonna lead the league in
Nope,
OPS.
not
Buddy.
okay.
Sorry.
Jared, if you're listening, pick it back up. I believe in you,
He's
buddy.
not even above 900 anymore. Your raking season is officially already off now, Matthew.
Well, he put the rake away because the leaves are gone, and then when the summer comes back around, he's gonna pick the rake back up and start raking
in the
again.
summer when the Leafs show up, I don't get that. Doesn't make sense.
You shut your mouth, okay? It makes sense in my head.
So in the postseason is where you want Jared.
There you go. Yeah, it's gonna be fall then. Yeah,
Okay, well we got to get him there, and that means Julio, Ty France, Suarez, Tio, Pollock, Murphy, everybody else. You need to pick it up because none of you are playing except for baseball offensively right now.
I have a proposition too. If we want to play Wong, put Wong in at second, put Caballero at third because Suarez has been sucking butt.
Kevin, again, you can just sum it up. Everybody sucks right now.
Well, yeah, but I mean, compared to what last year, last year we didn't expect Suarez to do what he did.
I mean, Suarez last year is not Suarez though. That was what was going to happen,
Well, I mean, Suarez showed he had a little resurgence because we saw Suarez hit 50 bombs in 1 year. He can do it. It's
in
just,
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
in a juice ball. It's a juice ball era in Cincinnati. No one's gonna hit 50 like that anymore, except for Aaron Judge. We know the ball is de-juice now, so unfortunately,
But I wouldn't mind seeing that a little bit more often. Maybe if Suarez needs some rest, put Wong in there and put Caballero because Caballero can play third. Just let him do it.
Suarez defense has actually been surprisingly good though, which I don't think anybody saw. So, but just everybody needs to wake up. Everybody across the board. No one has an OPS over 700, basically, except for Jared still. And Jose.
Caballero. I was Caballero does, but it's a very small sample size.
No, he does not. It's 680 right now. Yeah. So even the guy we're excited about it's still very low. Yeah, hit those home runs, man. Yeah, he just doesn't.
Mike Ford, do it. Bring him on. Do it.
So it's just Cal Raleigh, please wake up, everything like that. So I'm hoping let's just figure it out.
Hey, Murphy had
I will.
To Matthew's point, I'm not worried yet, but you can't just ignore the standings. You cannot go to the playoffs unless you're the Tampa Bay Rays, which are basically already going to the playoffs right now. But barring that, because the Rays are just the greatest team ever. Barring that, you can be eliminated, Oakland Athletics. So you can be eliminated early. So your goal is just to kind of be around in the fight until Matthew's August, and then you kind of figure out where you're at.
So I will say, in our seats, Cal Raleigh ripped a foul ball 10 rows behind us in the first inning, then nothing came near us. That was a little disappointing.
Bummer.
And then
Matthew, the saying could be the MXC. Kevin knows, classic MXC. Don't get eliminated. That is until August.
That's fair.
Don't get eliminated.
That's fair.
Yeah, there you go.
And in July, I'll probably pay more attention to baseball once all the playoffs are over, and then all you got is a British Open and golf, and baseball will take precedence then. So that'll be nice.
Mariners fans on Twitter, just calm down. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games.
And I have a friend who I play video games with who lives in the Oakland area, and he said, I'm sad about the A's leaving, but when there are more cats in the stadium than fans, it's time to leave. So I think that was a very nice summation of the Oakland A's.
It's time to leave because the owner's butt is what the owner is. Not.
And he said that nobody. I mean, obviously everybody knows the stadium's awful, but he said the stadium is just gross. It's just not a good sanitary place to be at.
It hasn't been.
Possums live in it. Yeah,
it's been a POS for a while.
So I think the A's will look much nicer in Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas will treat them a little bit better.
Did you hear they just rumored to have bought land and destroy the current Tropicana?
Oh, I mean, Tropicana has been.
It is probably the one that should be torn down.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're gonna eliminate a Vegas hotel, that's the one to do.
Of all the ones to tear down, it is definitely the Tropicana. But that is going to be a traffic nightmare if you put a stadium right there. But that's not my problem.
Yeah, is that the one? It's right next to the Staples Arena.
No. It's close-ish. It's a couple blocks away. It's that's right on the strip. So although if you're staying at one of the hotels, it's just walking distance.
Makes sense.
All of it would be walking distance. So you wouldn't really have to worry about traffic too much because everyone would just walk.
Because I saw a thing where it's because I don't know Vegas worth a shit, but you have the Raider Stadium and then you have Staples Arena, and then it's like 3 blocks. It's like
close.
5 blocks down is where they're thinking about putting the stadium.
Yeah,
They're
that
all
was the
within a
first
very
location.
decent distance of the strip. Very, very close
Yeah,
distance.
and then the strip
Yeah,
is
they're-
like
It's like I
6
would
blocks
say
that way.
from the other one. Yeah, you can say like 5 blocks away or so. Yeah, it's not too far. Yeah.
You could easily walk there unless it's July or August or June, and then you don't want to necessarily walk there because it's going to be hot. But you definitely could walk there. Well, we will get into some prospect watch next time, but
Yeah,
let us know what you think of the Seattle Mariners. Go ahead and tweet us. I'm at _Matt. Sean is Sean Beatty. Kev is at SEA to believe. That is C to believe. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Next time, we'll see where the Kraken are at. We'll see if there are any Seahawks news. We'll check in on the OL Reign, the Storm, the Sounders, the Seawolves. Sean,
There you go.
Seawolves. You want to give a quick Seawolves recap?
Oh, they dominated from the get. I can't remember what the final score ended up being because I was also kind of watched the Sounders and a couple other sports play, but I think, gosh, I had it up a second ago. Oh man, I want to say like 40-6, something like that. But yeah, we don't have to go into it now. I can't remember the exact what it finished at. I turned it off because I was like, this is a slaughter. And while it's fun, I got like 2 other sports to watch, so I gotta focus my time. You're too good, Seawolves. Like, let's tone it down a little bit.
All right. Well, until next time, we will see you then on Washington East to West Sports. Bring back the Sonics.